Hi, how's it going, guys? Luis Cota here, the SEO specialist. Welcome back, or welcome for the first time if you're new here. Today we're talking about how to do keyword research at a basic level. I'm going to show you guys how to find your competitor keywords, how to do keyword research in general, and some different ways and techniques on how you can go about doing this. And so, if that sounds interesting to you, then let's go ahead and jump right into it. All right, so before we jump into the keyword research portion of it, let me go ahead and answer a couple of questions, right? I've got some notes here. So, why is keyword research important? Well, this goes for everyone that's got their own website, e-commerce page, Amazon product page, or if you're trying to sell anything to anyone and you need people to find your website, then keywords or optimized SEO keywords are going to help you bring, traffic to your website, your sales page, your local landing page, whatever the case is. If you need customers or if you need people to your blog reading your content, then you're going to want to optimize your content around SEO. And I'm going to teach you how to do that in a little bit. So is keyword research the same as SEO? Yes, keyword research is a part of SEO. I would argue that that's one of the most important parts about SEO is using optimized keywords throughout your website content. Same question there. And then what is the best keyword research technique in SEO? There is none. Everyone who does keyword research does it a bit differently, and you'll come to realize that as you guys decide to take on new classes or courses in terms of keyword research. And so what I'm going to be doing today is looking at local businesses in the San Diego area as it relates to photographers. And so let's say that we want to help out a website who's not ranking on page 1 of Google, which this is. But the first thing I want to avoid, right, for this example are branded names. The branded names already have a lot of a following and a lot of organic traffic. So I'm going to exclude those from this keyword research example. And so just looking here, I'm just trying to look for someone who's got a live example in terms of, who is not doing all that well for SEO purposes. San Diego headshots. I'm going to open them up. They're on page 3. Let's see who else. Hotel. This one looks interesting. Quality looks very nice. Let's see. Let me close this out. Also, pop-ups can be kind of annoying. So I would kind of omit these if you guys have these on your website or if you're working on a client site. They're not ideal for user experience, in my opinion. They're just a little bit, obstruse. What's the word I'm looking for? They're a bit in the way. Let's leave it at that. So this is a really nice looking website. I'm going to open up my tool SEO Minion just to get a feel for the website. What I'm looking for here are a couple of things: the page title and the meta description length. And this is just a quick way for me to gauge if they have an SEO professional working on their website. And the way I do that is I look at if they're implementing the best practices in terms of the title length size. They're at 65 out of 60 characters max. That's close. That's a bit over, actually. But this is really over, right? I believe the meta description should be over between 120 to 150 characters in length, possibly up to 160. I need to verify that, but right there, up to 160. But this is at over 300, so they're way over. And so, and then the second thing I'm looking at is how many H1s do they have? Header 1 tags. And if this thing works like it usually does, it'll tell me where exactly they're using this phrase throughout their website. I'm going to hit Command F or Control F if you're on Windows. Okay, it's not popping up. Whoops. All right, so now let me take a look at their URL, paste it inside a tool like SEMrush, and I'm going to look at their stats. I'm going to look at their organic traffic to see if it's been trending upwards or downwards over time. It's been going up ever so slightly, but it's been kind of steady, right? I mean, if we look at this section of the graph and around this section, fairly steady, not much, like too much growth. And then branded keywords are, and I'm just giving you guys a brief overview of things I'm looking at, and then we'll get into the keyword research. Branded keywords, non-branded, but okay. Authority score is 9. So typically if this was at around a 20, 30, I believe I heard someone say that that's around 1 to 2 years worth of SEO work. And if we're at a score of 50, that's around 3 to 4 years of SEO work done to the website. So they have a little bit of SEO work here done, or maybe just the website is so nice that it's performing so well in search, albeit it being like in page 3 or 4 of Google. And they are ranking for over 200 keywords. This keyword phrase is bringing in the most traffic, as we could tell here. The volume is sorted by the highest to lowest, right? So we could see that this is the first phrase that they have. I don't even know what this means. Oceanography, La Jolla, so that's in San Diego as well. PeerCam. Family photographer is the second phrase that they're ranking. I wonder if they're ranking for the first position or in the first position of Google for any of these keywords. So if I were to type in, I believe this is the photographer's name, Christy something. Yeah, Christine Damman. I'm probably not saying her name correctly. But if I type in her name, her website will be the first to pop up. And they've got a Google business profile. It used to be called Google My Business. Now I believe it's just called Google Business Profile. They've got several reviews. Excellent, actually. Okay, so let's see how we can help them, right? Let's imagine that we wanted to help Christine maybe rank a bit higher with keywords. So what can we do? I use an advanced Google search to kind of see how many pages are being indexed. So there are several, close to 500 different website links that belong to Christine. And all of them have what looks like the keyword or the local SEO keyword of Hotel del Coronado. It depends how you pronounce that. I'm going to close this out, and we're going to go back here to see other keywords that they're ranking for. San Diego family photographer, family photography in San Diego. And just to confirm, I'm going to close this other example out. I'm going to open up my SEO Minion tool. Okay, so here's something interesting I found. I don't see an H1 tag, which is interesting. It's best SEO practice to include at least one on all websites, because then we tell Google what your page is about. And I've got some notes here about that. You guys can take a screenshot of this. Basically, every page should have an H1 tag so Google can identify it, and at least 3 H2 tags to separate the information and the copy. And then the H3s and H5s are for organizational purposes. Same thing with H4s. And yeah, so that's another example. I'll show you guys later. Let's take a look at some of her competitors. Okay, actually, no, let's go back. Let's go back to positions. Now let's try to identify what her main service is about. Quick way to do that is usually the homepage will tell you what she does. Let's see. Let's imagine I were to book a session. Great, so we've got our contact me form. Book a session. We also want to have a call to action up here, which she does have. Okay, that's good. And then, let's see here. Because your family is, so what I would do right off the bat is include keywords, relevant keywords inside the header 2 tags. And I would include the main keyword or service keyword that I'm trying to rank for inside the H1 tag and inside the page title. And then I'll probably include it one more time inside the description. Let me pause this. All right, so let's just do this. I'm going to start trying to optimizing. I'm going to begin the optimization period. And so I've got this little template here, somewhere around here. This one here, that basically, without being overwhelming, I am going to include some information here. And basically what this helps me do is stay organized with the different on-page SEO recommendations I make to a website. And I'm pretty sure you guys can get like a copy somewhere, like a checklist or like a different template, or, even, copy some of this stuff and just make your own Google Sheet. But basically, if I were to optimize this page, the most important things are the main keywords, secondary keywords, and then I'll probably make like a new tab here saying like optimized URL or new URL, whatever you want to call it, just keeping track of it. But since this is the home page, probably going to leave it blank. If this was a service page or a blog post, then we can optimize that portion of the URL. And then the current page title, and then the recommended page title. So to keep things simple, the only things we're going to do right now are a couple of these things actually. H1 link, the recommended H1, yeah. So to keep things simple, all that we're going to do right now is just focus on the main keywords, the secondary keywords, and that's that, right? So imagine, I guess the best way to think about on-page SEO optimization, because I know when I was first getting started, I just knew that on-page SEO was a thing, technical SEO, off-page SEO, and then content marketing strategies like building out content was a thing. And so whenever you're working on a website, you want to, keep track of all your recommendations. And then the easiest way to do that I've come to learn from another mentor is just use a template and just write your optimizations inside it, and that's kind of it. And you could basically sell a service like this to a client, right? If they need on-page SEO with their, with their blogs, maybe they're not ranking. Well, this is going to teach you how to do that, and it's going to help you hone in on the specific keywords that they need so that they can bring in more additional traffic to their website. We're all happy and we can all make some money. So we've got another checklist here that I'm probably going to show you guys in another video. So let's go ahead and start filling some of these sections out. Alternatively, if you didn't want to do something like this because it looks too complicated or you have something else in mind, then by all means, grab yourself another template from Google. Whatever you want to do, just keep track of your notes Here's another thing you could do, and you could sell to a client. This is my brand here. Here's an on-page optimization analysis example. You guys can kind of read over the notes there, how I would recommend they optimize some of their headers, and then just some more information, right? Using page speed insight tools to kind of like let them know like, hey, this is something that we got to optimize and work on, yada yada. But that's kind of another thing you could sell and offer to clients. You could do like a top 10 analysis, right? Like the top 10 fixes that you recommend. But to keep this video short, because I was not anticipating it would go on this long, it's the first time I'm making like longer form content, so bear with me, guys. Let's see here. Let me bring this here. San Diego family photographer. So keyword research as it relates to different cities, that's called local SEO. There's a course on that, but basically you just want to use the city that you want to rank in inside different portions of your website. Most importantly, the page title, description if you can. It's not as important here. It's more important inside your page title, H1 and H2s, and that's kind of it, right? And then throughout the copy by copy, I mean all the text that you see here, but without being like stuffing or like spammy about it, obviously. And so, yeah, so none of these headers are too optimized, right? Maybe like lifestyle newborn, that one may be a keyword, families, sure. But the more specific you are about it, the better. So if I were to type in family photographer in the San Diego area, you can use a free tool like what's this called? Google Ads Keyword Free Planner tool to discover new ideas. And then we're looking for, terms inside the San Diego area and only the San Diego area, for example, right? Hit save. And then I'm looking up different keywords as it relates to family photographer. Let's see what else I could come up with. Professional photographer or photography services. So here are some keywords that I found. I found a ton of them, obviously, with this tool. It's so quick. We have around 1,800 results for keyword ideas. And if you really wanted to build this out even further to get even more search suggestions, you can, include one of these phrases if it's relevant. Maybe like this one. And then you could get some more results. And then we can see this number change, obviously, by a lot. But I don't want to get too many results. I'm going to keep things simple. And then here, I'm just going to click here. And then I want all the non-branded terms because I really want a clean list of keyword ideas. And now what I could do is I could download this into a Google Sheets. And I could just call this San Diego family. If I could spell photography, I'll just say keywords, something super simple. It's going to prepare the report and it's going to be done almost immediately. I could sort through these. I'm going to open up the sheet, close this out, and I could sort through this information a lot quicker. So for example, you could keep all this stuff if you want. I'm just going to clean this up a little bit. All right, and then let's say I want to add some filters here. I'm just getting fancy. You don't need to do this because the most important part are your keywords and you should focus on that. But I've done this once or twice, so I know how to delete a lot of this stuff that's just kind of in the way. So that's probably fine for now. The most important things are our keywords, right? Because sometimes different businesses, they need keywords. They don't know how to rank their website with local SEO keywords, and that's why they have us to help them out with that. So one of the most important things that you could do here is you could either right click or hit the filter button and then sort this information from highest to lowest monthly search volume. And then we could see here that photographers is a huge term. And so if I wanted to see, what comes up when I type in like San Diego photographers, I want to look at service pages like these, right? These are the Google Local Map Pack, I believe they're called, which means these get a lot of traffic and a lot of customers reaching out to them. And then is there another like photographer here that's not a big brand like Snapper or Yelp, which are also irrelevant for our purposes? Yep, we've got another photographer here from the looks of it. Limited mini sessions, yes. So you do want to verify the keywords, most of the times, actually, all the times, because sometimes you'll just get results that are not relevant for you. But for the most part, just doing a quick glance, these are all useful paid keywords that we can use throughout the page here to build out better copy and better headers. And just by improving our headers and including a header one with our optimized keywords like these, or like this one, and then like the ones we saw here, then we could start pulling in some more traffic. And if you really want to have an easier time getting traffic, then focus on the low competition ones. But yeah, so looking at the monthly search volumes, I want to use the ones that are the most relevant for my client. So for example purposes, I'm going to say I really like this one, professional photographer. And I'm going to say that's my main keyword, right? And it's got around 500 search volume. I could just include that there. Secondary keywords that I want to use. Let's see. If I wanted to build out the copy for this page here, I want to include the word family, just to get a quicker sense of what the website is about. I'm going to look at the portfolio, so family pictures. Okay. Maternity. So we've got maternity pictures as well, so they offer that services. That particular service. Fine art portraits, which I don't know exactly what that is. Okay, got it, obviously. And then let's see here. Okay, so let's say maternity photography, that's a keyword, right? So we want to include that inside our secondary keyword list. And to make things a bit quicker, I'm going to completely omit the search traffic, but if you have clients that ask for that, then just include it here. But to kind of speed this process up a little bit, and I don't want to bore you guys to death, then I'm going to move a bit quicker. And I'm basically just choosing keywords, like I've mentioned, that are going to help this photographer out the most, Christine, given the services that she offers. And so we're going to assume that we're going to copy these, we're going to build out this list, right? It's up to you how many you want to include, but, just include the most, relevant ones. So if she only offers, for this example, like if they offer birth photography, obviously I know they don't offer corporate because I didn't see that. So we definitely don't want to include that, right? And we also don't want to include senior photos because I didn't, or a keyword for that because I didn't see that service offered here. These are mainly like family photography sessions, maternity pictures, and the like. Obviously, she doesn't offer drone photography. So as you keep building this list out, just keep that in mind. And if they had a studio nearby, then I would probably include that. If she does photo retouching, then we can include that. And if she offered, let's see, something similar to that effect, Fine arts, so family vacation, family sessions. They offer packages, so I'm just going to do a Command F and see if they've got the word packages here. They do. We're going to copy that. And obviously you guys would do a much better job, but this is kind of just like the basic keyword research processes. And if they had different searches, you can volume, you could add it there. Current body word count, that just indicates how many words are in the page. It says here it's 1,000. I'm not sure. I've got this other tool. I clicked Command A, or you could do Control A. I'm gonna right click and it says one word. Yeah, that's 1,000 words actually. So I think my tool was correct. And let's say they had 1,026. We'll just say 1,000. Let's say they had 1,000 words total there, but we don't know what it's gonna take for us to rank highly in search. And so one thing we could do is we could look at our competitors and then make an assumption, take the averages and then include that here as our recommended word count. But the cool thing about keyword research is that a lot of the heavy lifting is basically done right here. This is going to help you build out your H1, right? And it's going to help you build out your subheadings or your H2s. And I will give you guys an example towards the end here. Later on, actually, I should say. But let's say that now we know exactly that they're trying to rank for San Diego family photography sessions. And just remember, when you're doing local keyword research, you want to use Google Ads free keyword planner tool. And if you're doing national SEO keyword research, you're going to want to use a tool like SEMrush, Ahrefs. I think there's one called Mongols, SpyFu, Longtail Pro, etc. Just keep that in mind. So we're going to type this keyword phrase here. And look at that. She's ranking first for this local map pack in Google. And is she also ranking first right here? Is this her? This is not Christine, but she is ranking in first position for the map pack, which means she's going to be getting a lot of traffic anyways, even if she doesn't rank organically for this keyword. But I'm pretty sure there she is, Christine Daman. I hope I said that correctly, but there she is. And let's assume that this is one of the best competitors, which actually they are. And we want to see, what they're doing on the back end of things. This is a quick way to assess your competitors. So I believe Christine had an authority score of 9, and this particular competitor, Chasing Daylight Photo, has a 17. These are an average, right? All these numbers are rough numbers. There's an upward trend in traffic, so that's great for this competitor. Now, and here is Christine Daman's website. We could see how her competitor has been doing a little bit more SEO work, right? And she is pulling in close to, 4 or 5 times more organic search traffic, right? From 600 to 150. She's been kind of stagnant with her traffic, generally speaking. And she's been trending upwards over time. And so we could kind of see what keywords her competitor is bringing in the most traffic with. I'm going to hit volume, because if you guys remember, I typed in, what was it? Let's go back here. San Diego family photographer. And I believe it's a she here, Chasing Daylight Photo. She is bringing in more organic traffic, right? And then we have Christine Daman's websites who we're optimizing for. And so we want to see what we can learn from our competitor. This is called competitive analysis, or just keyword research. And Crystal Pier, these might be locations. It says it's a navigational intent. Navigational intent is just basically when someone is looking for something very specific, right? Or maybe even like a login from a website place. Crystal Pier, just a location. From the looks of it, I should know that because of Pier, but yeah. Coronado Ferry Landing, okay, yeah, that makes sense now. San Diego photographers, I'm gonna check that. Because, let me close this out now. So, San Diego family photographer. San Diego photographer. Now, I did say that we want to use a keyword research tool for local SEO purposes, like Google adds a free keyword planner tool. But this is just kind of giving me like a baseline of all the keywords that they're ranking for. And I'm going to take this information with a grain of salt, since generally speaking, SEMrush does a decent job with local SEO purposes, but it's not meant for that. SEMrush is mainly for national SEO research, generally speaking. And so San Diego photographers, mini of San Diego, not that relevant. Let's just say that we want to include, but even if we include this keyword inside Christine's website, it wouldn't go that well there. Maybe that's why they've included photographer and not furs. Let's see. Let's go back to Christine's website. Let's look at the keywords that she is ranking for. So yeah, keyword research is a bit of a process. This is kind of just how I go about doing it, but check it out. She is ranking for this, but she's in position 20. Okay, which makes me wonder who's ranking in the first position of Google. Fly to Grapher, and then Chasing Daylight. The Knot, another big branded name, Peerspace. This does not look like a big branded name or like a big company, right? Could be wrong. Let me just click on their homepage. Let me take their URL and let us put this information inside here just to see what kind of metrics they have. Okay, yeah, they probably are a big brand. Just looking at these metrics, over 60,000 search traffic. So maybe what I was looking at was a listing, directory listing for photography services. Whatever the case is, they're not really a direct competitor for our imaginary client, right? For Christine. Okay, so let me go back. This is the other competitor. She's got 224 backlinks. And then Christine, who we're optimizing for, she has 90 backlinks. So we do want to work on building some backlinks with our keywords. So what that means is we have more referring domains or websites talking about us, right? So every website could be, they could have, different people there referring over to their site, to this competitor's website multiple times, which is why we see the difference in referring domains and backlinks. So, but just keeping things very generally speaking, 900, or call this 100, and they've had 200. So we do want to kind of, close the gap a little bit. And we probably, very likely, want to be listed inside several directory listings. There's tools like Bright and Local to help you with that. And this will help us build out some backlinks as well. And then building out blog posts is another way we can get some organic traffic via different keywords. But yeah, the most important part is when you look at competitors, see what kind of keywords they're ranking for. And if they're relevant to you, then you can include that inside your like a checklist or your template like I have here. But the most important keyword is the one with the most organic search traffic. That's generally your main keyword. And then the ones with lesser traffic but are still relevant keywords will be your secondary keywords. Word count is what your current website has in terms of on-page text. And then the recommended is an average of what your competitors have. So let's go ahead and fill this out very quickly. You know what? I'm going to fill this out and then I'm going to talk you guys through some of my findings just to not bore you guys. But basically what I'm going to do is select everything and then get the average word count of my top competitors. They only have 400 words. And then I'm going to take the average of the results and get back to you. And then I'll probably end up doing, filling out some more of this stuff. All right, guys. So I'm all done with the basic SEO recommendations that I quickly went over here. And so starting from the top, so if I had any notes, I would include them there. Here is the one page that I'm optimizing just for example purposes, because if I were to do more, it would take forever and you guys would probably get bored to death. And so here's the main keyword that we're going after for their homepage. Here are some of these secondary keywords. Remember, I was going kind of fast here, and obviously you could use more keywords that are relevant for your client's website when you're conducting audits, or even for your own website, whatever the case may be. Here is their current page title, which is, with the help of my SEO minion tool, we could see this is what it is currently. And coming to think about it, not only are they probably based in San Diego, but they're probably based in this area here, Hotel del Coronado Beach. So if I were to do some keyword research here, Hotel del Coronado, so yeah, that's a location from the looks of it, and it's a hotel basically. So yes, what we can also do is include some of those keywords as well inside either our page title or inside our header ones. But since I was kind of rushing, I did miss that, but then I caught it. And then basically when you do this, you always want to make double check to verify what you're optimizing your keywords for is correct. And in this case, let's say I could even type in that phrase right towards the end. But ideally, I want to optimize my header 1 title to be under 70 characters in length. So I may have to delete some things. There we go. Boom. 70 characters. And so the current... So I went from this title that they currently have, right? When people see, when they find them on Google, is now this. And I'm keeping some of their branding aspects to it. So their name, San Diego Professional Photography Services, and I'm including some keywords here. And I just got creative with the copy, as you could tell there, which is what you want to do. You want to make it look like you're not even using a keyword, if at all possible. You just want it to kind of read naturally, and that is the goal. This is their meta description, what people see when they find them through Google. This is the text that goes underneath a website link, in case you didn't know. So that's quite long, right? Because if I use my SEO minion tool, they went over just some quick math. I don't know, like 80 to 100 characters. Let's say 100 characters, because the meta description link is supposed to be 150 or 160 to 120 characters in length, at least. And so what I did was, I thought it had good direction, but I figured that around 150 characters in length is about a few sentences. So I basically cut off all this, and you can see I modified some of it here, and that's what I added. Learn more and sign, or click here to learn more. Would have been another phrase that I've included there if I didn't go over that limit. And we can always modify this, but I just kind of was working quickly so I don't bore you guys with the entire optimization portion of it. And then the recommended header 1, let me expand that a little bit. Now it includes the other term here: San Diego Professional Photography Services, Hotel del Coronado Beach. And I would even do some keyword research on this with the Google Keyword Planner tool to see if it's even bringing in traffic. I know for sure San Diego will. And then photography services, I know that will as well because we verified that. And yeah, another thing you could do here. Okay, so for the subheadings, I went ahead and optimized a couple of these. I didn't want to do all of them because this particular website has so many. But if we click on the home page there and we open up the tool, we can see that they have 24 headings, quite a lot. And I just basically took some of the top ones and then pasted them inside here just to kind of show you guys what I would optimize and how I would do it. And if I had more time, obviously I could do a better job, and I can include keywords probably very likely inside all the headers, which would be the goal. But if the text doesn't lend itself to be optimized, then I'm not going to optimize just for the sake of over optimizing, let's say. So I love what I do. It says somewhere there it is. So yeah, that would be kind of hard to optimize, but if I had more time to read here, I could kind of build out better subheading copy with or text. I say copy, I call everything copy in terms of like text. If I had more time, I could probably include keywords throughout most of these if it's relevant, and I would probably make some recommendations to consolidate different headers and classify them as different things, but that's outside the scope of this video. But to give you guys a quick overview, let's assume that I was reading this entire page like you should, right? Like families, I could just think already like, oh, I know there's keywords around that because we found some earlier inside Google Keyword Planning, the planner tool. And I just did a Control F. I typed in family, and then I saw that there's like close to 1,000 different keywords that I could probably play with and include throughout the copy here, which is what I did. Family photography packages. I think what they had was, I know they don't even have the word packages on their website. I think they had something like this, family photography. And what I did was like, okay, well, I know that sometimes they need packages, right? People want to know. And then I just chose like the best one here. And if I did wedding photography sessions and video packages, then I can include that as a keyword, assuming it made sense, right? Family photography. But yeah, you could kind of get an idea of what is out there. Yeah, that's the keyword I use, family photography packages. Family photography packages. And by doing this throughout the remainder of the subheadings, we could get additional traffic and support our professional photographer keyword. And so I basically did some more of that. Family vacation session. I did the same thing. I was like, okay, well, let's see what else we have here in terms of session, family session photography, family sessions, family photo sessions. These are all great keywords that I could use. Some of these have no search traffic, so I'm not going to use those. Family photo sessions, family sessions, family sessions photography, family photography vacation sessions, for example, right? And then we include some of the local city destinations. So if that's San Diego, then we want to include that keyword. Or if in the event, now that we know it's optimized for this keyword here, I can also include that throughout the copy. But I would just look at what's bringing in the most search volume, and I would use that the most, and likely it's San Diego. And maybe include Hotel del Coronado just in a few strategic places towards the beginning, middle, and the end. Either or. And then link recommendations could be a huge topic, and that could be a video, and of course all of it within itself. But just some basic things to keep in mind is, let's say that this was a blog post about how to take, photography pictures for weddings or something like that. Then we could link or make the recommendation to link to a service page. Let's say I offered that service and I want to link to that particular portion of the website. Pretty straightforward, right? You just want to hyperlink to relevant pages. I just included like the contact me now page and then like the portfolio, just for example purposes. And if you have images, then you can include alt tags. Ideally, the more descriptive, the better. So you can use many of these keywords that will help you describe a picture while using keywords. So, for example, if I saw, let's say someone taking a picture of an event and it's a photographer, then I would just call my file name that. And that's kind of how you optimize. The most important thing to keep in mind is finding relevant keywords and then including the one with the most organic search traffic here. And then secondary keywords will support your main keyword of choice. And then making note of what we currently have for page titles, meta descriptions, subheadings, and seeing how we can optimize some of that copy to include relevant keywords. And if we can keep the branding the same, like the name of the photographer in this case, Christine, then even better. But if not, then sometimes we will have to omit that portion of it just to stay within the character linked, which is why I only included D as part of her last name. And then see how we could consolidate a lot of this text into a simpler form is what we did here. And a lot of the heavy lifting was done for me, so I really just included a call to action, which you want to do. Include some keywords in the subheadings, optimize for the H1. And if they had an H1, I could just kind of see what they have here and then adjust it accordingly for SEO purposes. And yeah, I just kind of told you about this. Stay tuned for the next video. I'll be showing you guys more keyword research on page SEO. And if you enjoyed the video, please give me a like and subscribe. And until next time. All right, take it easy.